Hi guys, welcome back. We are working today on the Project Golf, and today we're going to have a look at this faded plastic. Now what's happened here is that the sun, and over the years just the environment in which it's been kept, have dried out the oil from the surface layer of plastic. Now there's lots of things we can do about this, lots of products that are available, but none of them are going to be ideal for this car because that isn't black, it's grey. So I'm going to show you a little trick here. I've got other videos on the channel that show exactly the same thing on other cars, but we're going to use a couple of products that you can find in any art shop, just standard ingredients, that will bring that back to the original factory colour of the plastic, and that I think is really what we should be aiming at, rather than just covering up that faded grey plastic with some black boot polish basically. So let's go and mix the stuff up. Now if we were dealing with black plastic, this kind of thing would be absolutely spot on. Well, I say absolutely spot on. The problem with these products is that they wear off, they wash off, they fade over time. Really all you're doing is not dealing with the problem, you're just covering it over. So I'm going to park those to the side. What I'm going to do instead, I'm going to take a jam jar, we'll paint it on with a normal paintbrush. I'm going to take some linseed oil. This is thickened linseed oil, Winsor & Newton. Really, that doesn't make a great lot of difference for this. It just means I'll have to put a little bit more of the terps in to water it down. I don't need a lot. So just a bit of linseed oil in the jar. And then I'm going to use some terps, distilled turpentine. These are both artists' ingredients. If you go into any art shop, this is the thinner and the base medium that oil painters use. Really all oil paint is this oil mixed with a pigment, just a ground up pigment. And that's it. So what we've got here is an oil that's been thinned down so that it can soak into the surface of the plastic, and that oil is really very, very similar to the plastic's natural oil, the stuff that's boiled out of it to leave us with that horrible faded appearance. So let's just go and paint this on. Okay, here we go. So I am just simply going to paint this stuff on with a normal domestic paintbrush, and I'm going to rub it off with a rag. I'm going to let it soak in a bit first. This does improve as time goes on, but really all we have to do here is paint this stuff on, let it soak into the surface of the plastic. And because these are materials that are designed for artists, the whole point about them being cleaned and then distilled is that they dry. They don't end up sticky and attracting all the road dust and so on. Look at the difference this is making already. Now things like the Meguiar's back to black and all the other bumper blacks and so on, they're just putting a covering over the top of the plastic. They're not actually dealing with the problem, and they are going to wash off. This actually reconditions the plastic itself, gives it its natural factory coloured back, which you'll notice in this case isn't black. And if I just move the camera over, straight away you can see the difference. But as I say, over time, overnight particularly, this will get even darker. Really, really effective if you just leave it a few hours. As I said, what I'm going to do here is brush this on, leave it for about 10 minutes and wipe it off. Simple as that. So there you go guys, factory fresh. Some results there that speak for themselves. It's simple enough to do, you just got to use the right ingredients. We are now 1 hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes later than the first video when I painted that stuff on. Already it's nice and dark, by morning it'll be darker still. Very, very, very dark grey though, not black, so when I've used bumper blacks and so on in the past, they've never looked quite right, and they do wear off real quick. What we've done here is restore the actual plastic itself, so it's going to last as long as the plastic did the first time before it faded. If you want to top it up, just brush some more on. So I hope that's been useful to you today. If it has, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.